Let's go out to 100 yards on that 4-inch plate. Oh, right above it. Nailed it. Click. All right, you get 9 shots with this guys. This is the brand new Volquartsen Summit, chambered in 17 HMR. Let's get into the video. A couple of years ago, Volquartsen came out with their first Summit. And if you don't know what their Summit was or is, it's a toggle bolt rifle, okay? This is on a Ruger 1022 platform, so it's basically like a Ruger 1022 bolt action. This is not a new design. This has been out since, I believe, the 80s, used primarily for biathlon shooters and Olympic shooters. Volquartsen resurrected the idea probably about 5 years ago and introduced their 22 long rifle. There shortly after, they had it chambered in 17 Mach 2, and now they're chambered in 17 HMR and 22 Magnum. This rifle, it looks heavy, but it's not heavy. It is very well balanced, even with this 32 power ride-on scope on here. I'm gonna get more about the scope in here in just a minute, but you do have your integrated pick rail right here on top, and you do have the carbon fiber barrel. And this green laminated stock is pretty awesome. I like the green. I already had one in red, another Volquartsen in blue, and now this one is green. You don't have to get a green one, like I said, but this is the lean green machine in my opinion, and I am shooting it suppressed. The good thing about a bolt action 1022 platform is just this. A lot of people like to shoot suppressed, like I do, okay? And when you're using a bolt action suppressed, it is quieter than that of a semi-automatic because you're not hearing the slide or the bolt going back and forth by your ear. It is hearing safe, not a problem with the suppressor. And this is my Banish 22 suppressor I have on here. But if you don't shoot this rifle, or you shoot this rifle without hearing protection, your ears are going to ring. It is very, very loud. It's a 17 grain bullet traveling at over 2,600 feet per second. So always either use hearing protection or a suppressor when shooting the 17 HMR. I have taken and used 17 HMR for many years, small game hunting. If you do shoot a squirrel with it, you may want to make sure it's a headshot because if you shoot one in the body, it does a lot of damage. So, but the good thing about a bolt action also, or bolt action design, is they're a little bit more accurate, in my opinion, than a semi-automatic. And the reason being is with the bolt gun, when you shoot the firearm when it pertains to rimfire, all the pressure goes out of the barrel, okay, and puts the bullet downrange. Out of a semi-automatic, it's using some of that pressure to cycle the bolt back and forth. So with a closed bolt design, such as a bolt action, you get a little bit more accurate firearm, in my opinion. So enough talking about it. I'm gonna set up a target downrange at 100 yards. We're gonna see what kind of groups we can get out of the Volquartsen 17 HMR Summit. All right, let's load this Summit 17 HMR up with 5 rounds of CCI ammunition. This is a 17 grain polymer tip bullet. This is their VNT. It's traveling at 2,650 feet per second. So I've got a target downrange at 100 yards. Let's see what kind of grouping we can get with this rifle. Well, there's 2 touching at 100 yards. There's 3 touching at 100 yards. Four touching at 100 yards. And that one went a little high. Do you know how stressful that is? if you shoot 4 shots really, really close, that's probably, first 4 shots is about, probably about a 1/2 inch group. And then you've got all the stress of that 5th shot to keep them all in there. Let me see if I can get a little bit tighter group. That's probably about a 0.6 inch group, 0.5, 0.6. I'll measure it here in a minute. But let me see if I can shoot just a slight tighter group. All right, let me load it up here. It's shooting just a hair to the right. Could be my trigger pull. I may have to go, I'm gonna leave it for right now. I'm gonna see just what kind of, where I'm printing on the paper this time. So, all right. See if we can get about the same results or even better. Got a little bit of a wind here. So you got to be careful with the wind with the 17 HMR. So it's way more affected by wind than a 22 Magnum. I think that was me. I don't know, we'll see. That's a pretty good group also. So yeah, it shoots little tiny groups at 100 yards. Now, I've got a know your limit target downrange also at 100 yards. And if you're familiar with the know your limit targets, they start off at 1.5 inches and they go down to 1.25 inches, then 1 inch, 3/4, so on and so forth. So what you start off with is 1.5 inches and you go all the way down to 1/4 inch. So let me see if I can run that whole know your limit target with just one magazine, which is 9 rounds. So let me reset the camera down there and let's give it a shot. Know your limit target downrange at 100 yards. Okay, let's clear this know your limit. First one, pretty easy. Four for 4. Now this is where it gets difficult. Got it. 5 for 5. 6 for 6. Oh, I hit it. I did hit it. Barely nicked it right there on the left-hand side. All right, see if I can clear the rack at 100 yards. Nope. I think I got 1 shot left, maybe 2. Got it. Cleared it. That is a 1/4 inch wide target at 100 yards. So splitting playing cards with this guy at 100 yards would be no problem at all. All right, so what did we learn here? We learned that if you do your job, the rifle will do its job. So if you ever get a chance to shoot a Volquartsen, you know how well made they are. It's kind of hard to portray in a video of something when, you know, custom is in their name. Custom is in Volquartsen's name. It's a custom rifle. This is not a run-of-the-mill rifle. Every one of these rifles or pistols that they make are put together with love and kindness, and they're put together very well. Okay, I own several Volquartsens, and this one is no different. You know, it will shoot little bitty groups, 0.5, 0.6 inch groups all day long. You really, really take your time. I have shot a 0.39 inch group with it, but she'll shoot great. And you're probably asking what kind of scope I'm using on here. The scope is kind of an overkill for this setup, okay? This is a 4x32 by 56 Ride-On 7 Conquer. It's a first focal plane illuminated reticle at 0 stop. And the glass is extremely clear. And the reason why I put a 32 power scope on this, because I know This rifle is capable of shooting really small groups. Yeah, I could probably do about the same with a 16 or a 20 power, but I wanted to give the rifle every chance it can take. Now, even with a big scope like this, the rifle is very well balanced, and it's not really that heavy with this laminate stock and the carbon fiber barrel. On the end of the barrel here, I've got a Banish 22 suppressor, which they're rated for 17 HMR and also 22 Magnum. But yeah, it just works great. And you get the hearing safe out of a bolt gun, out of this 17 HMR with a suppressor. So it's perfect for squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting. You know, I've taken animals, well, prairie dogs out to 400 yards with a 17 HMR. So it's capable of doing it on a calm day. Now, if you got a 15, 20 mile an hour crosswind, the 17 HMR is really not your friend. But on a good calm day or a 5 mile an hour breeze, you should be just okay. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can put them down in the comments below. Go over to my Instagram, Facebook page, or Twitter pages and ask them there. Until next time, y'all be safe and keep blinking.